Good afternoon and thank you so much for tuning in to UBC TV. Welcome to our lunchtime news. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Uganda Road Fund has released over 100 billion shillings to districts and UNRA to make emergency roads rehabilitations. This follows the recent heavy rains that destroyed small bridges and roads. The Minister of State for Works, General Edward Katumba Wamala, said that the chief administrative officers and district engineers have been directed to collect data to assess the damages.
The country has recently had heavy rains that have taken a toll on the roads countrywide, destroying some of the small bridges. The havoc on the roads have prompted Uganda Road Fund to dispatch funds to make emergency works on the affected roads.
And where the district cannot respond, or where the district doesn't have capacity to respond, they should be able to communicate to us, and then we see how we can use other resources, and possibly even ask for, if it so requires, we may ask for supplementary to intervene in restoring the infrastructure.
Minister Katumba says chief administrative officers and district engineers have been directed to collect data to assess the damage which has been done on the infrastructure.
We are now gathering data countrywide to see how much damage has been done on our roads and in what form, and then we should be able to respond. But even before we respond, already Uganda Road Fund has dispatched money to the districts and UNRA and all the municipalities. They have already received their quota of this. I think this quarter 2, they have received the money. So where emergencies, where they can respond, they should be able to respond.
Minister Katumba was giving the 2019 road user survey report indicating 57% improvement on the road network compared to 27% in the last 2 years.
The number of kilometers have improved in terms of those which are tarmacked. The road unit equipment which we sent out to the districts is doing a great job because most of the districts are using them well. There are some districts which are still having challenges, which have not properly employed those equipments, and some of those we have taken measures to address the misuse.
Executive Director, Uganda Road Fund, Engineer Moses Odong, says the survey is conducted after 2 years and allows road users to give feedback on the successful road usage.
The improvements in the road user experience on these roads were attributed mainly to better road maintenance and rehabilitation and even construction. We have widened roads, journey times have become quicker, and even road safety. Road safety is still an issue, but statistics of fatalities have gone down.
The survey ranks UNRA roads #1, followed by KCCA, and district roads came third in usage and maintenance. Uganda Road Fund is mandated by Act of Parliament to finance routine and periodic maintenance of all public roads to ensure proper operations. Mutonyi Hilda, UBC.
Mudslides have killed 3 people in Kasese district. The incident occurred last night during heavy downpour in Namuhuga South Bulembia division in Kasese municipality. The deceased have been identified as Mumbere Derek, aged 3 years, Mumbere Weasley, 10 years, and Masereka Sunday, a 10-year-old, pupils of Katiri Primary School in Bulembia division. According to an eyewitness, Murokoli Ronald, who rescued one of the children, narrated that he had a child crying inside the house, which prompted him to come closer. He pulled one and the 3 had already died. Kasese Municipality Mayor Godfrey Kabyanga said that the landslide hit the house on the side where the children were sleeping, leaving 3 children out of the 4 confirmed dead, and one who was saved was rushed to hospital. Few weeks ago, 2 children perished also in a house in Mahango sub-county in a similar incident.
The first, I think, in around 7 years within the municipality. But outside the municipality, in the whole district, there are similar incidents, because in Mahango it is a daily occurrence. I have even already got information on WhatsApp that there is another landslide in Chitoru, but that one, I think nobody died.
Rained very heavily yesterday, so when it comes to around 3 a.m. towards morning, there was a landslide happened and fallen on the wall. There were 4 children in the room, and unfortunately 3 of them are dead.
Of course, nafe wetufunyide obutumwa buno tubadde nga tukyandi kikutaasa obulamu kubanga ekintu kyabaddeko saa 6 z'ekiro tekifunye kuno ku makya kuno naye tubasaaside niyo ku bizibu byemufunye naye naffe tuli namwe mu busaasi.
Very sad story from Kasese. The public has been urged to embrace other sources of energy and reduce their dependence on wood fuel. This was at the launch of the Running Out of Trees campaign that promotes afforestation by ensuring all citizens at least plant a tree. The initiative is being implemented by the Uganda Breweries in partnership with Ministry of Water and Environment, as we see in this report.
Uganda continues to lose its forest cover at an alarming rate. It is on record that Uganda faced loss of its forest estate from 24% of the total land area in 1990 to 12.4% in 2015, translating into a loss of 2.4 million hectares in a span of just 25 years.
As root stands, we are running out of trees. We are running out of trees. And if we run out of trees, the consequences are dire. Right now, when it rains, Mount Elgon and Karamoja, we get floods in Teso and the other low-lying areas because of the loss of the tree covers and the swamps.
Embracing other alternative sources of energy is encouraged and dependence on wood fuel discouraged.
You know, when you travel up north, you see all these charcoal lorries coming down. There has to be a level of public sensitization and social mobilization so people understand the alternatives and people see the consequences of their short-term actions. And I think that is also a bigger role for government, but for all of us. How do you get this message across that there are other ways of making your livelihood in a more sustainable way for themselves and for their countries?
It is against this background that the Ministry of Water and Environment and Uganda Breweries Limited have launched the Running Out of Trees road campaign.
Whilst we destroy 250,000 hectares of forest cover every year, we're actually only planting back 7,000. And that, men and women, is the burning platform. If you do the maths, it means we have a net of 243,000 hectares of forest cover being destroyed. More concerning is even the protected areas.
The afforestation campaign is one step towards mobilizing corporate entities to occupy their seat at the high table of protecting and restoring Uganda's tree cover.
In the segment of business, transport between Palisa and Kaliro districts has been paralyzed for close to a week now due to heavy rains. The rain washed away a bridge across the Saka swamp that connects the two districts, seeing residents resort to alternative means of transportation.
This is what is left of the 9 billion shilling Palisa Kaliro bridge, constructed by government 3 years ago. It was to connect districts within Busoga with those in the Teso sub-regions. The current situation has left motorists, cyclists, businessmen and students from both sides all stranded. Residents now have to fork out between 5,000 to 10,000 Uganda shillings on makeshift boats.
bodaboda abasabaze esente bazira aye olwenjira tuli kugwa bugwo atero ne tuli bubi so tuli kusaba gavumenti tuyambe ebirukire kunjira
tukubira masimu tuwalaire mawulire buli ku kika kye radio Uganda naye bagayina otufa kwasana n'abantu tuli kulondera amaizi epikipiki giwala 15 gigwira amaizi gy'abantu gyabire n'amaizi
ayo kuzwa makezi tukali kubona ku mukulembeze waire Moiza aiza hano asobola okutuyambako kutwako amawulire gaisu tolugudo lwomokere bakangedi basobola okutuweerera obuyambi obusobola okutuyambira oluguudo baiza batukolereku.
Gerald Ibanda, a teacher in the area, decries the current situation, saying many school-going children are unable to attend school.
I'm here. I wanted to go to Parisa to preach the gospel, but now I've found a bridge that has crossed. The water is just crossing, nowhere to pass, nowhere to take, everybody is now going down the water. You see even these small boats now helping people to cross from here up to the other end, which is very weak. Our life is we are just risking our life.
The area chairperson, Wycliffe Ibanda, says business has been greatly hampered in the area. He adds that calls to their members of parliament to effect action have not yielded any results.
Kubanga entegisingo bunjegi begizwe katakwi mbale jikolesya lugudo olwo. It is almost a shortcut over bitaho ti abadriver ba saving 40 kilometers. Ebyabugayiga bingi abasuubuze bange okuzwe palisa abasuubuza kuzwe ikalira abasuubulire palisa tibali kwaba abasuubuza bazwe palisa okwizeno tibali kwaba kale kitemere ku ama districts mangi.
Uganda's social and digital media influencers have got a chance to tour the Alberton Graben and get acquainted with the ongoing oil and gas activities there. In another development, Vivo Energy has expanded its Shell service stations, a move that seeks to bolster the company's countrywide network.
Besides training the online writers and bloggers, the influencers will have the opportunity to traverse the oil-rich Albertine Graben.
Social media today is one of the fastest ways in which people acquire information. So we believe that the discussion on oil and gas needs to be an informed one based on knowledge. So the aim is to build a critical mass of people with adequate knowledge on the oil and gas projects, the opportunities that are there, the status of the projects, and the country's roadmap towards oil and gas production.
Before hitting the road to Hoima district, a debrief on the current developments in the oil and gas industry was conducted in Kampala.
So it's important that we appreciate these two aspects of how the company recover their money. And at the end of this session, the worst thing would be for you to say the companies are going to recover their money of building the refinery from the oil. No, they're going to recover it from the gate prices.
Some of the key areas the group will visit include Kingfisher Development Area, Tilenga Development Area, and EnviroServe West Treatment Plant. In another news, Uganda's gas stations are gradually turning into one-stop business centers, a development lauded by the political class.
We have been seeing such things happen in other countries, especially those developed countries, where petrol stations have been turned into a one-stop shopping center for everything, lunch and shopping, plus everything like service. I'm very happy that the trend is also extending to the Ugandan community.
Vivo Energy Uganda, which has expanded its Shell service stations to 151 in the country, is promising to completely change the face of its gas stations to suit the changing needs of its customers.
Yeah, our MD talked about the partnerships, he talked about the loyalty club, he talked about more. We will not stop there. We know that the world is a changing area, and we'll continue to do that, and we'll do whatever it takes to make sure that we stay ahead and our customers remain satisfied.
With a growth rate of 6%, Uganda's economy is one of the fastest growing in Africa. This economic growth has called for growth in purchasing power parity, and oil products are not the exception.
Shell prides of creating over 400 direct and indirect jobs for the locals in its expansion move. Dennis Igor, and Robin Yoso for UBC Business.
Let's take another break. Please keep around.
First 4G smartphone from Airtel is back. It's bigger, better, and comes with 5 GB free data per month for 3 months. At only 200,000 Uganda shillings, enjoy fantastic features on the phone, like the Face Unlock feature, long battery life. Mwana, ka volume keko. Live your life in 4G with my first 4G smartphone at only 200,000 Uganda shillings and get free 5 GB data every month for 3 months. Visit the nearest Airtel shop, dial *175*9# to enjoy free data. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Activate Airtel Money today and enjoy convenience on payments for all utility bills. That's right, you can pay all your bills from the comfort of your home at any time of the day. To pay your water bills conveniently, dial *185#, select 4, pay bill, select 2, water, select 1, pay NWSC, enter National Water customer number, select area, enter the amount, and enter PIN to complete the payment. Yes, pay all your utility bills conveniently today only using Airtel Money. Airtel Money, simple, instant, secure.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hello, Uganda! We introduce to you the first and ever My Right to Play Christmas Kids Festival 2019. Let the kids feel the Christmas Eve on the 21st of December at the Legends Sports Ground in Lugogo. Entrance is 10,000 shillings only and parents free. Bring your child and have an opportunity to play, sing, dance and discover their talents. Mujje tuyingira amazaalibwa nga abato basanyusa bato bannaabwe. Muleete abaana bammwe banyumirwe, banywe, bazanye. Kino kigenda kubeera kijjabi. Proudly sponsored by Legends Sports Ground, UBC TV, Star TV, U24 TV, Star FM, Magic 100 FM, UBC Butebo, Marketing, UMC Victoria Hospital, and Ideas Workshop. Bw'oba oyagala omwana w'okuyimba kuba ku ssimu eno.
We're coming to you live from Butekanga in Kamuli District.
In the sub-county where I come from, where my leadership is being practiced, money is really a big problem that is hindering women to join leadership.
And in case you didn't know, Fasi Fasi is a show intended to make way for women in the leadership sphere. How can we create a space where someone who does not have 20 million shillings but has the ideas can become a leader in our community? Did you know that the journey to becoming a politician is very costly, especially for women in rural areas like Kamuli, where the main source of income is subsistence farming? Going by numbers, money seems to be a critical factor in joining the political race. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's make way and make some noise.
This weekend on UBC.
My name is Nkayo Hannington, winner of the NSSF Friends with Benefits Season 2.
Congratulations, Hannington!
I used my winnings to boost my agricultural production and give a chance to the people in my community to work.
So join us this year for the 3rd season of the NSSF Friends with Benefits, as 16 Ugandans share inspirational stories on how they use their NSSF benefits to do life-changing things. So tune in every Sunday with your host, Gaetano, and I, and special new host, Uncle D. It's another incredible display. It's the NSSF Friends with Benefits.
And that's not all. You have the power to vote for your favorite stories to win up to 55 million shillings, just like Huntington. This show is brought to you by
NSSF, a better life.
It's a moment for international news, but let's first go back to business and wind up that segment with just a story. The Civil Society Coalition on Oil and Gas has questioned the eligibility of the RSK Limited to undertake environmental impact assessment in Uganda, and also the issue of an interim developer undertaking the easier instead of the actual developer. This was in a press briefing that touched on issues pertaining to the just concluded public oil hearing on the East African crude oil pipeline.
Recommend that NEMA should not approve the ECOP ACR report until the issue of eligibility of RSK Limited to undertake environment impact assessments in Uganda is resolved. Two, the issue of the interim developer undertaking the environment impact assessment instead of the actual developer is resolved, and appropriate guarantees are made that the actual developer is or that when the actual developer is incorporated, such developer will inherit all the commitments and obligations that were made by the interim developer.
To citizens to know what the issue that they have provided, whether they have been taken on board. If they are not taken on board, what are the reasons why actually the issues have not been taken on board? So we are not getting that feedback. A report is supposed to be prepared by the presiding officer. This report would be a tool where citizens would be able to look at and say, okay, our issues were at least captured in the report. This report is also not being made a public document, and therefore people cannot even know whether their issues have been captured in the report, leave alone whether action has been taken about these reports. But subsequently, when a certificate has been issued and conditions imposed, these conditions are not also being shared with communities that participate in monitoring, because communities are supposed to know.
Two cooking stoves blew up. They were cooking and they had oil that was mixed with fuel. That is according to Rashid Ahmed, Minister for Railways in Pakistan, and he said that passengers bringing stoves onto trains in order to cook meals on long journeys is a common problem, the minister added. The accident happened near the town of Rahim Yar Khan in the south of Punjab province. Pakistan has a history of railway accidents with multiple deaths. Casualty figures are often so high because trains are packed with far greater numbers than they were designed for. In July 11th, 11 people died in an accident, with 4 dying in another accident in September, and more than 120 injured in a crash near Marba. And in 2005, more than 130 people were killed when in one of the country's train disasters. Afghan strike forces, backed by the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, have committed abuses amounting to war crimes, according to a new report. Human Rights Watch alleges that the troops committed summary executions and other grave abuses without accountability. These include extrajudicial killings, forced disappearances, and attacks on health care facilities. The journalists have contacted the Afghan government for comment. Both the UN and the New York Times have previously highlighted allegations of abuses by Afghan strike teams. This comes after peace talks between the US and the Taliban collapsed in September. Human Rights Watch report is based on interviews with dozens of local residents and witnesses to raids throughout Afghanistan, as well as local human rights groups. In full, it is titled, "They've Showed Many Like This, Abusive Night Raids by CIA-Backed Afghan Strike Forces." Then the U.S. military has published the first footage of the raid in northern Syria that resulted in the death of the leader of the Islamic State group. Grainy video showed troops firing at militants on the ground as they flew toward the compound where Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was hiding before they moved in on the ground. Baghdadi fled into a tunnel and killed himself by detonating a suicide vest. After the raid, the compound was destroyed with munitions. The head of U.S. Central Command, General Kenneth McKenzie, said that the The destroyed buildings were left looking like a parking lot with large potholes. General Mackenzie said that children had died with Baghdadi in the tunnel, not 3 as previously reported. He also could not confirm President Donald Trump's graphic description of Baghdadi whimpering and crying as he died. In the world of sport, the Carabao Cup climaxed Wednesday night with the Liverpool and Arsenal match raising pressure. Liverpool dramatic penalty shootout victory over Arsenal sealed their place in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup after 10 goals were scored in a thrilling contest at Anfield. In other games, Manchester United beat Chelsea 2-1, while Aston Villa beat Wolves 2-1.
Play Chamberlain. Ross was looking for Bruce there, and it's turned into his own net by Shkodran Mustafi. Now Maitland-Niles, Mesut Ozil again. There's the pullback of the shot. It's a brilliant save, but Torreira's there, and Arsenal are level. Well, here comes the free kick taken quickly. It's well done by Maitland-Niles, and Kelleher's there again, and it's turned home by Martinelli. It's a loose pass by Elliott. And Saka for Martinelli, and he simply does not miss. Liverpool's captain needs to score now to give them some hope in this game, which of course he does. Well, that's short, and in they go for Maitland-Niles.
The evening that was. We thank you so much for watching. But in other news coming in, the man accused of having beaten Radio Mosei, the former musician, deceased musician, has been sentenced to 13 years in prison this early morning by Grade 1 magistrate, by High Court magistrate, a High Court judge in